Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Cheltenham Racecourse here on day 2 of the festival. It's Wednesday, the 11th of March 2020. I'm going to look at almost all the races on today's program from Cheltenham, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for racecourses around the world, and also join me the rest of the week for some more Cheltenham previews. Looks like it's going to be an excellent card today. Like I said earlier, we're going to look at almost all the races except the 7th race to 5:30, which is the Champion Bumper race I just test. So we'll be looking at all the other races, 6 of them to go to, and let's get to it. The first race right now, the 1:30 from Cheltenham. The opener from Cheltenham, the first race, the 1:30, it's the Grade 1 Ballymore Novices Hurdle. It's Grade 1 event for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $166,500, race for novice 4-year-olds and upwards. 12 horses are entered to go the distance of ground of 4,200 meters, or 2 miles and 5/8 over the hurdle course. It's an interesting race here. As a top selection, I'm going to try and beat the favorite with the 5-horse Longhouse Poet. We'll go 5-10-3 in the tri-cash trifecta. If you noticed with yesterday's card, and basically without going through the week, I will be giving out tri-cast. Basically that means that's my 1, 2, 3. So I like the 5 the best. Second best, I like the 10 horse Sporting John, and number 3, the third best horse is the 3 horse in Bowie Elaine. So it's my top 3, basically, but I'll be giving you place pots also. I think that the festival here, especially, the place pot pools are massive, and it's going to be life-changing, payouts here. So, but with the top selection, we'll go with the 5-horse Longhouse Poet. 6-year-old gelding by Yeats. Mark Walsh is on this one for Martin Brasil. The horse is most recent outing came the 1st February at Leopardstown, 2 miles 3/4 in the Grade 1 Nathaniel and Lacey's Solicitors, 50,000 Cheltenham bonus for stable staff hurdle, and the horse finished 3rd by 2 lengths that day. And by the way, I like saying the race's name, but the horse finished 3rd by 2 lengths. He jumped well late, he quickened up nicely. I thought he ran a terrific race with all said and done. It was definitely an improvement off the race 4, which came the Grade 1 Laylerism Nace novice hurdle at Nace, 2.5 miles on the 5th of January. There he just never really had a good run. He finished 3rd by 7 lengths. He just, he got over the fence as well, but he still could have improved a lot more. And then before that, a maiden hurdle at Navan, 7th of December, 2.5 miles. The horse went by 1 3/4 lengths and did everything right as the even money favorite. Quickened up nicely, jumped well. Nothing bad about that run. Even the race before it, in his main hurdle at Nace, 2 miles 3/8 on soft ground, he finished 2nd by 1 3/4 lengths. And again, he just kept going, jumped. Good race. He's coming up in a massive. He's coming up in class here today. That shouldn't be a problem. I think the favorite in Bowie, Elaine, is very beatable here. Yes, he's undefeated, but he's coming to Cheltenham and facing some very tough horses here. A lot tougher than the horse he's facing in Ireland. I think this Longhouse Poet's going to under the radar the whole week, and I think he could get a good trip. So 15-1 will use him. I think a horse that could beat him also. The favorite is the 10-horse Sporting John. B.J. Garrity's on this one for Philip Hobbs. This horse, not the best price in the world, but he's run very good races in the UK, most recently at Ascot. 2 miles straights in Class 2 novice hurdle, and the horse went by 6.5 lengths and jumped well, quickened up nicely. Nothing bad about that run. 2 backs at Exeter on soft ground, 2 miles and an 1/8 in a Class 4 National Hunt novice hurdle. And again, the horse went by 8 lengths and still could have won that easily. That was a very, very impressive run. And then again at Exeter, 2 miles 3/8 in 2 miles 1/8, so the 3,400-meter journey in a Class 3 novice hurdle. The horse won by 1 3/4 lengths, again, very easily. You haven't gotten to the bottom of this horse, which is good. He's coming to this race well. 5-2, it's not the best price, but I think he is also a very likely winner. Definite horse to put on your place pot. But to recap my selection now for the first from Cheltenham, the 1:30, it's the Grade 1 Ballymore Novices Hurdle. As a top selection, we'll take the 5-horse Longhouse Poet. We'll go 5-10-3 in the tri-cash trifecta. Use the 5 and the 10 in the place pot. Let's get to the second race from Cheltenham. The 2:10 from Cheltenham, the second race, it is the Grade 1 RSA Insurance Novices Chase. It's a Grade 1 event for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $233,000, race for novice 5-year-olds and upwards. 10 horses are entered to go the distance of ground here of 4,800 meters, or 3 miles over the Chase course. The top selection here, another very wide open race. I'm going to take the 3-horse Battle Over Doyen. I'm going to go 3-5-9 in the tri-cash trifecta. 3-5-9 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection of 3-horse Battle Over Doyen. This 7-year-old gelding by Doyen. Davy Russell gets the mount for Gordon Elliott. The horse's most recent outing came the 2nd of February at Leopardstown. 2 miles and 5/8 in the Grade 1 Flogus Novices Chase. And the horse didn't finish the race that day. He fell. He has a tendency of just running these clunkers. He ran it that day, just couldn't couldn't keep up. What can you do especially as a favorite, very not as a heavily bet as he was the race before, but he just couldn't keep up. He just found his old form to win easily that day, who I think is going to be overbet in a few weeks, in a few days' time. But this horse just couldn't get there. Before that, in the Grade 1 Neville's Hotel Novices Chase in Leopardstown on the 29th of December, 3 miles there, he won by a length, and he jumped well, quickened up nicely at 44 cents a dollar. That was the old battle over Doyen winning there. And then before that, he ran at Punchestown, 17th of November, 2 miles 7/8 in the Grade 2 Liam and Valerie Brennan Memorial Florida Pearl Novice Chase, and the horse won by 5 lengths that day, and at 40 cents a dollar. Again, quickened up nicely. It's like, it's like subpar jumps, but he still got the job done there. And then before that, Beginner's Chase at Galway, the 2 miles and 6.5 furlongs. Again, he won by 8. Didn't really get to the bottom of the horse. It was a good race off the break. But he always runs these clunkers occasionally, like he did last time out at Leopardstown. Back here at the festival last year in the Ballymore Novices Hurdle, he threw in a clunker. He didn't finish the race. He pulled up out of it. It's a 3-1 favorite. He just wasn't excelling there. But that was off a pretty long break. He was, he had his previous race was about 9 weeks earlier. So I think he probably needs to run closer to the race that he wants to run with. Today he's had a run about 4 weeks ago, 4.5, 5 weeks ago, which I think is good. He'll be a lot fresher here today, and I think he'll really improve off his last race and his last Cheltenham race. 10-1. Let's take him here. Hopefully you could hear, because I can't hear. My ears are so clogged today. I have to go check for the sound on this video because I can't hear. But I also like the 5-horse here, Champ, the 8-year-old gelded by King's Theatre. BJ Garrity is on this one for Nicky Henderson. The horse's most recent outing came at a disaster race here at Cheltenham on New Year's, 2 miles 5/8 in the Dipper Novices Chase. Didn't finish the race. He fell 44 cents a dollar, falling. That's right to the heart there. What can you do? He just couldn't keep afloat. Before that, Newbury in the novice in the Grade 2 Ladbrokes Novice Chase, he won by 1 3/4 lengths. And again, kept going. Wasn't the most impressive victories, but he got the job done. And then he began his chase at Newbury in early November. He won by 3.5 lengths. Again, jumping well to a very nice victory. He ran here at the festival last year in the Ballymore Novices Hurdle, where he placed behind City Island, and he just couldn't get any on the run. He jumped well going around the race course. It was a respectable second place finish there. He's had a good season other than the Cheltenham subpar here on New Year's. At 3-1, another very likely winner. Definite horse to use on your place pot tickets. But to recap my selection now for the second from Cheltenham, and it's the 210. It's the Grade 1 RSA Insurance's Novice Chase. Let's take the 3-horse Battle Over Doyen as a top selection. We'll go 3, 5, 9 in the tri-cash trifecta. Use the 3 and the 5 in the place pot. Let's get to the third event from Cheltenham. The 250, the third race from Cheltenham. It is the Grade 3 Coral Cup Handicap Hurdle. It's a Grade 3 event for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $133,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 28 horses entered, but keep in mind, only 26 could go to the old course. The distance of ground of 4,200 meters, or 2 miles and 5/8 over the old hurdle course. Very wide open race. I'm going to give you a tri-cast here, but to tell you the truth, any of these 3 horses can win. Basically, like I said earlier, the tri-cast is my top 3, but the top selection, if I had to give you one, would be the 13-horse Protect-A-Rat. We'll go 13, 4, 8 in the tri-cast trifecta. 13, 4, 8 tri-cast trifecta. Top selection of 13-horse Protect-A-Rat. This 5-year-old gelding by Sante Saints. Harry Skelton's on this one for Dan Skelton. The horse's most recent outing came on preview day here at Cheltenham on the 25th of January. 2.5 miles in the Grade 2 Ballymore Novices Hurdle, and he finished third by 4.5 lengths. He had a high weight, but he was jumping well. He quickened up a little bit. He kept going. That wasn't a bad race at all. He should really do well with a little bit of a lower weight, only carrying 156 pounds, which is 8 less pounds that he carried last time out. And I think that should be, right for him. He's always run these decent races here. And guess what? He's a course winner, winning here at Cheltenham on the 1st of January. 2.5 miles in listed novice hurdle. He won by a head. He had blinkers on that day. He jumped well. He quickened up nicely. And he held on to a very nice victory. Before that, enlisted handicap hurdle at Sandown, 7th of December, 2 miles there. And he finished second by 1 3/4 lengths. He jumped well. He had somewhat well that day. He lacked a good run-in, but he still had a decent race. He had, he's had a lot of shitter races. And then before that, at Sandown, 2 miles on the 10th of November, in a Class 4 main hurdle, finished second by a head. He was under the drive, wasn't 100% fresh that day, but again, I've seen worse races. Since they put the blinkers on, the headgear on at Sandown in November, he's become a completely different horse. He's jumping well, and like I said, last race wasn't so bad. I think at 8-1 he has a very live chance, so let's take him here. I also think the 4-horse has a live chance. Backason, or Backason, is that how you say it? I can't remember. I do watch the replays. I watch a lot of replays, and especially this week. But the problem is I try to not watch the replays with the commentator on, because they get a little annoying after a while, and also I just don't want to, I like to watching it in silence, so sometimes I do mispronounce horses' names wrong, so just pardon that, and plus I can't speak English half the time, and I can't hear myself half the time. Like today, I'm running on 50% ears right now because I have a really bad clogged ear infection, but that's for another day. But the 4-horse Backason, hopefully I said that right. This 9-year-old gelding here by Void Inord. Patrick Mullins is on this one for the old man Willie Mullins. The horse's most recent outing, first off, a year break, came on the 16th February, Navan in Ireland. 2 miles 5/8 in the Grade 2 Ladbrokes Ireland Boyne Hurdle, and he finished third by 9 lengths that day. He wasn't 100% fresh. He jumped okay there. He needed the race off the break. I'm going to take him here second off the break. A little lesser quality horses. I think that should be a good race for him here today. Before that, he ran the Ireland Boyne Hurdle of 28:19 at Navan, 2 miles 5/8, and he finished fourth by 8 3/4 lengths to winner Tigers Roll. Went on to win the here at the festival last year. Went on to win the Grand National 2 years in a row. Terrific run there. This horse, he just couldn't get there late, and again, he never quickened up. It just wasn't his day to win. And then on New Year's Eve of 2018 at Punchestown in a handicap hurdle, he won by 2.5 lengths. He did everything right against lesser quality horses. He ran here at the festival in 2018 in the Gold Cup, actually, and didn't finish the race. He fell. What can you do? Navy River ran a terrific race. Might Bite ran a terrific race. This horse just couldn't get into it off a pretty long layoff of about 10.5, 12 weeks. But he's coming here a race under his belt. Lesser quality horses. It's 160 pounds, which he's carrying shouldn't be half bad. Again, 12-1. I think he has a very strong chance. And also, who I think also has a strong chance here, but I do fancy him the least out of the horses I'm picking here, would be the 8-horse Birchdale. Aiden Coleman's on this one for Nicky Henderson, the 6-year-old given by Jeremy. He hasn't been seen since the 22nd of November. That came at Ascot, 2 miles and 3. It's in a Class 3 Novice Chase, and he finished third by 32 lengths. And off a break, you expect him not to be 100% fresh. He jumped well, but he just never was going anywhere. Before that, he ran here at the festival last year, 3 miles in the Albert Bartlett's Novices Hurdle, and he didn't finish the race. He pulled up out of it. You saw a very tired horse there. He should have did a lot better. And then before that, in the Ballymore Novices Hurdle at Cheltenham in January 2019, he won by 18, and he just, destroyed the field. That was a very impressive run, even with a few mistakes. That was impressive. But he hasn't found that form since. If he can find that form like he had there at Cheltenham in January 2019, or even the race before at Warwick, I think he could win here today, 10-1. He's the wise guy kind of horse. He's either going to run a massive race, or he's just going to be walking under the line, pulling up out of it like he did here last year at the festival. But to recount my selection now for the third, the 250 from Cheltenham, it's the Grade 3 Coral Cup Handicap Hurdle. As a top selection here, we'll take the 13-horse Protector Rat. We'll go 13-4-8 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta, and like I said, use the 13-4-8 in the place pot. This is a very wide open race, and this is the race you definitely want to use on your place pots, because like I said, it could be so random. So now let's get to the featured fourth race, the 330 from Cheltenham. The 330, the fourth race from Cheltenham. It's the feature of the afternoon. It's the Grade 1 Queen Mother Champion Chase. It's a Grade 1 event for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $532,000, race for 5-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 7 horses entered to go 3,200 meters, or 2 miles over the chase course. Very wide open race, I think. A lot of people think it's going to go to Altior, but I don't like what Nicky Henderson has been writing in the press lately about, the horse's condition. They were possibly not going to run him here. So if there's that little bit of a thought, can he win here at the festival? I'm going to pick away from him. I'm going to take the number 3 horse Chacun Poursuis as a top selection. I'm going to go 3-4-1 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta, though. 3-4-1 Tri-Cash Trifecta, top selection, the 3 horse Chacun Poursuis, 8-year-old given by Policymaker. Paul Townend's on this one for Willie Mullins. The horse's most recent outing came in the Grade 1 Dublin Chase at Leopardstown, 2 miles and 8 on the 1st of February. And the horse won by 3 3/4 lengths, and he did everything. He was under the drive, he jumped well, quickened up nicely. That was a very good run. Problem with this horse is he has a few lines between starts. He must have gotten injured. I know he's sold from his original owners to the new owners, but when they finally got him right, he really proved that he can run. Two back, he ran at Leopardstown on the 27th of December, 2 miles and 1/8 in the Grade 1. Paddy Powers Rewards, Loyalty, Dead, Live for Rewards Chase. I hate these names of these races sometimes, but he finished second by 2 3/4 lengths at 53 cents a dollar. He just lacked a really good run in. The winner of Plus Tar just ran that better race. And before that, on the 2nd of May at Punchestown, firm ground, 2 miles in the Ryanair Novice Chase. He won by 4.5 lengths at 3-1. He jumped well. He quickened up nicely. That was a very impressive run on very quick ground. And then before that at Nice, March 10th of 2019, his first start in nearly 3 years by a week. 2 miles at Beginner's Chase. He won by 31 and destroyed the field. That was very impressive. It'll be quite cool for his from all that's said and done with those long breaks between races, for him to become a Cheltenham Festival winner. He has the ability, I think, to win here. He should love the soft ground. I think he's sitting on a very good race, so let's take him. Like I said, I'm not using Altior. If he wins, congratulations, but I just don't like what they've been saying about him in the press lately. Nicky Henderson's comments about him not being 100% fit. If there's another horse that could possibly upset here, I think the 4-horse Defy de Soy is a logical winner. Also, BJ Garrity's on this one for Philip Hobbs. This horse, most recent out came the Clarence House Chase at Ascot, 2 miles and 1/8 on the 18th of January, and the horse won by 2 3/4 lengths. It did everything right, beating Undeso, quickening up nicely, very impressive. Before then, the Tingle Creek Chase at Sandown, the just nearly 2-mile trip, the mile 15/16, right before Christmas. He won by a neck. He was all out. He jumped well. Undeso nearly got to him, who won the race a few times in the past, but this horse held on to a very nice, exciting victory. And then here at Cheltenham, in the Grade 2 Shoulder Chase, he won by 1/4 lengths. His seasonal reappearance, again, it wasn't 100% fresh, but he got the job done. He ran here in the JLT Novices Chase last year at the festival, where he won very nice by 2 1/4 lengths, so he can win here. He's, his only loss in the last few years came at Punchestown in May in the Ryanair Novices Chase, where he actually lost to Chacun Poissoir. But other than that, or Poissoir, whatever the hell the horse's name was, who I just picked. But other than that, he's been pretty perfect. He's come to this race well. Should handle the soft ground at 3-2. I think he's also a very likely winner, so definitely use him on your place pod. Like I said, we're not going to use Altior, but to recap my selection now for the 4th, the 3:30 from Cheltenham. It's the Grade 1 Queen Mother Champion Chase. Let's take the 3-horse Chacun Poissoir's top selection. We'll go 3-4-1 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta, 3-4 in the place pod. Let's get to the most aesthetically pleasing race at the festival, race number 5, the 410 from Cheltenham. The 5th race, the 410 from Cheltenham, it's the Glenfarclas Chase. It's a cross-country chase for Class 2 horses, going for a purse of $86,500, race for 5-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 16 horses entered to go the distance of ground of 6,000 meters or 3 miles and 3/4 on the cross-country course. A very aesthetically pleasing kind of race, because it just goes everywhere, and it's one of my favorites. Top selection here, I'm going to go with the 4-horse Easy Land as top selection. I'm going to go 4-13-9 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 4-13-9 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection to 4-horse Easy Land, or Easy's Land. The 6-year-old gelding by Gentle Wave. Jonathan Plouganeau comes in from France to ride this horse. The horse's most recent outing came the 2nd of February at Pau. 3 miles and 7/8 enlisted cross-country chase, and he won by 3 lengths, and it was just a good, solid race. He jumped well, quickened up nicely, around the very difficult obstacles. He got the job done. Before that, he ran here at Cheltenham on the 13th of December, 3 miles and 3/4 in Class 2 Handicap Chase, and he won by 7 lengths that day. As the 5-2 favorite, he was 100% fresh, jumped well, quickened up nicely. Nothing bad about that run over this very difficult course. And then before that, Compiègne on heavy ground, 11th of November, 3 miles and 3/8 in a listed cross-country hurdle. He won by 1 3/4 lengths. Again, everything right. He could handle the going here, the heavy ground on this course, which you probably will see. He could get around the heavy obstacles, the difficult obstacles, shall I say. And I just think he's sitting on a good race, so we'll use him here. Your other very likely winner in this race is the 13-horse dual winning Grand National horse, Tyrol, 13-horse, even money here. It's not the best price in the world, but he can get the job done. He loves this course. 10-year-old gelding by Authorized. Keith Donahue's on this one, Gordon Elliott. Though he did run a clunker last time out, but he does have an excuse. I came at Navan, 2 miles and 5/8 in the Grade 2 Ireland Boyne Hurdle. As the 9-1 choice that day, he finished 5th by 14 lengths, and something to keep in mind, he runs crap first off break. He always needs that race. He never jumped well, never quickened up. He got around the race course okay, but he needs the race off the break and always has. Second off the break, he always runs these terrific races. Just keep that in mind. Two back, the horse ran the 6th of April in Aintree. Good to soft yielding ground, 4 miles and a quarter in the Grand National, and he won by 2 3/4 lengths. It's the 4-1 favorite. He jumped well, he quickened up nicely, and stayed the trip well. Very impressive race for him. And then here in the cross country last year, winning by 22, it doesn't get any easier and any more impressive than he did that day. He won the Ireland Boy and Hurdle in 2019 again very easily, winning by 4 lengths at 25-1, outran his odds. He won the Grand National last 2 years. He won this race many times. He loves this course. Second off the break, another very likely winner. But the only problem with him is even money. It's not the best price in the world, but like I said, he is a very likely winner. So to recap my selection for the fifth, the 410 from Cheltenham, it's the Glenfarclas Chase. Let's take as a top selection the 4-horse Easy's Land. We'll go 4-13-9 in the cash trifecta. We'll use the 4 and the 13 in the place pot. Let's get to the 6th race, 450. The 450, the 6th race from Cheltenham. It is the Grade 3 Boodles Juvenile Handicap Hurdle. It's a Grade 3 event for Class 1 horses going for a purse of $106,500 race for juvenile 4-year-olds here. We have 24 horses entered, but keep in mind only 22 could go the distance of ground here of 3,200 meters or 2 miles over the hurdle course. Like the 250, like I said earlier, I'm going to give you a try cast out, but to tell you the truth, any of those 3 horses can win, so we'll definitely use them in the place pod. But my top 3 for this race would be, as a top selection, I would go with the 16-horse group stage. I'll go 16-8-3 in the tri-cash trifecta, those 16-8-3, and we'll use all 3 of those horses in the place pot. But the top selection, 16-horse group stage, is 4-year-old gelding by Maxios. AP Haskins on this one for Alan King. The horse's most recent outing came 2nd of February at Musselburgh, 2 miles and listed hurdle, Class 1 event, and he finished second by 1.5 lengths behind Time White, who was running back in this one today. This horse, he jumped well, he quickened up a little bit late, he kept going. I thought that was a good race. Something I've noticed off of his runs, maybe he wants a little bit more ground in the future, but he's always run these good races over the hurdles. Before that, he ran the 14th of December here at Cheltenham, 2 miles and 8th in a Class 2 juvenile hurdle, and he finished 4th by 9 1/4 lengths. And he kind of hit the wall late going up the hill. He just couldn't keep the momentum going. He kind of digressed there. And then before that, at Ludlow on the 14th of November, 2 miles in a Class 4 juvenile hurdle, he won by 3 1/4 lengths. He kept going. He jumped well. That was a very good debut there. With the 3 races over the obstacles, he's run decently. The Cheltenham race where he's weakening, I think that was just because of inexperience. He's had to start over the ground again. Coming here again, off a decent race last time out, I think he'd get the job done. Also, a little less weight, 155 pounds, should suit him well. I think he's a likely winner, so we'll use him along with the number 8 horse Galahad Quest. Sam Twiston Davies is on this one for Nick Williams. This 4-year-old given by American Post. The horse's most recent outing came in the JCB Triumph Trial Juvenile Hurdle here at Cheltenham, 2 miles and 8th on the 25th of January, and he won by a length that day. And it was an all-out finish. He jumped well. He got the job done. For his debut victory there. Before that main hurdle at Taunton, 2 miles and 16th, 7th of January, he finished second by a neck behind a horse by the name of Buzz, who ran diesel. I believe I had money on that winner, but this horse, he kept going that day. He closed up well. It was an improvement off his race before, which was his debut at Warwick, where he ran absolutely crap in a juvenile hurdle. He finished 4th by 50 lengths, hit the wall completely. He just needed the race for experience. He should like the soft ground. His last 2 races weren't half bad. If he could run a fraction of that Cheltenham race last time out, I think he can win here. So 21, another very likely winner, along with the 3-horse Palladium. 4-year-old gelding by Champs-Élysées. Nico de Boinville's on this one for Nicky Henderson. The horse's most recent outing came on the 1st of February at Sandown, 2 miles in a Class 3 novice hurdle, where he won by 10 lengths that day, and he jumped well again, just destroying the group home on very waterlogged ground. Before that, 4th of January at Sandown, 2 miles on not as waterlogged grounds in a Class 3 juvenile hurdle. Again, he won by 11 lengths, 36 cents a dollar. When he got jumping well, he just kept going. Something I noticed, it looks like he doesn't do well early on in the race, but as the race goes on, he does a little bit better. But he's done everything right. 10-1 in this kind of race. It's a little bit short for me. I would like him to see a little bit bigger in a 20-horse field, but he can win also. Definitely a horse to use on your place pot. But to recap my selection now for the 6th, 450 from Cheltenham, it's the Grade 3 Boodles Juvenile Handicap Hurdle. We'll take as a top selection the 16-horse group stage. We'll go 16-8-3 in the tri-cash trifecta, but we'll use the 16-8-3 also in the place pot. Going to the 7th race now, the 5:30, which is the Champion Bumper. I'm not looking at this race. I'll watch it as a fan, but as a bettor, I'm not gonna look at the race because it's just a very wide open race, and it would be professional suicide if I give out a tip in this race. So, like I said, the fan in me likes the race. The bettor in me will just, rather not and save the money for Thursday's card. With that being said, remember to join me tomorrow for some more Cheltenham previews, and follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody, and let's make some of that money today.